Guys, apparently I'm a fan of goofy video games that have animals in them. I mean, look, I'm loving Goat Simulator 1 and now Goat Sim 3. They skipped 2 for some reason. Party Animals, you know, the Gang Beast ripoff, but it's actually better. Rodent Royale, the new Squirrel Battle Royale that's going to drop at some point this year. Early access soon, I think. Crab Champions, obviously, that's my main game. And now another Crab's Treasure, the Souls-like. Maybe I just like crabs a lot. Maybe when I first heard Noistorm's banger, Crab Rave poisoned my brain. Because let me tell you, I live near the beach now. Anyways, let's move on to another Crab's Treasure. It's a brand new title from the indie studio Aggro Crab Games. This is only their third title, but I can already tell that they know what they're doing. I've actually been following the development of this game for quite some time now after I saw one of their viral TikToks. The account does really well. It's actually over 300,000 followers now, so hey, maybe you have also seen a video or two. It's pretty funny content too, so you knew already that the whole vibe of the game was going to be fun, but you didn't necessarily know more than that. Obviously, they share a lot, and I knew a little bit of what I was getting myself into, but I didn't expect it to be this good. The team, they look like they're having fun, but again, you never know when a game, whether it's AAA or even indie, is just trying to make a quick buck. And a fun, goofy crab game could easily be one of those predatory games that tries to make a quick buck off the kiddos. But I'm happy to say that that is not the case, because after spending a little over 5 hours in this game on the opening day, and getting to the point where I've unlocked or experienced every main game mechanic, I have some good things to say. So I'm gonna say them, and you're gonna listen, because I'm a white guy, and I want you to hear my opinion. I'm the master of crab games. At least, that's what my cat thinks. Before we get into it though, I do feel obligated to say that I did receive a game code from Aggro Crab Games, the developers. They asked creators, hey, sign up for our list. Maybe you'll get a code. I did, I got a code. So this isn't sponsored. I don't owe them anything. They're not paying for this or anything like that, but technically I received the game for free. Now, I'm very confident that at the $30 price tag, and right now it's 10% off, so $27, I would still buy this game on my own dime anyway, but I just feel like fair is fair. I have to say that technically I received the game for free. With that out of the way, let's get into my first impressions of another Crab's Treasure. So starting off, you play as a hermit crab named Krill. It's a cute name. And this Tom Nook motherfucker cosplaying as a shark head on a stick comes up out of the ocean, says, buddy, you owe taxes. And he steals your shell as a collateral until you pay off those taxes. So from there, you head away from your beachy oasis, your alcove, and you head into the ocean to find a way to get it back, whether it means paying your taxes or tracking down Tom Nook himself. His name isn't Tom Nook, but he's basically the same thing. I swear to God, Animal Crossing fans, you'll make that connection immediately. During your adventure, you find new shells with unique shell spell abilities. You fight your enemies, you meet the Duchess, you slowly level up, tons of other game mechanics. There's much, much more there. And there's even some light political commentary about pollution. The game's overrun by pollution, the ocean. It's still bright and colorful, but there's trash everywhere. The shells you find to replace your shell are pieces of trash, whether it's cans or shot glasses or party hats. Microplastics are the currency. It's not kelp or crystals or sand dollars. It's microplastics. And there are even a type of corruption or pollution enemy and like a status effect in there. So it's light, but it's there, and I like the balance they've struck with that. Moving on though, the game is a Souls-like. That means a lot of things to a lot of people, but the environment and overall vibe is super fun and saturated, but it's a Souls-like, like I just said. So the gameplay itself is still full of your common dodge rolling, your blocking, your parrying, your power attacks, etc. that you're probably already used to from mainstays like Elden Ring and Bloodborne. The game doesn't really introduce anything brand new. The mechanics that it brings in are not crazy or genre-defining, but they don't have to be. The fundamentals are all there, and they're executed very well. Being a Souls-like, fights are all about timing, patience, memorizing attack patterns, and it's quite the juxtaposition for me, because personally, all the Souls-like I've played or seen are dark and grim, games that are very heavy. But then we got this bright and vibrant one. And those types of games tend to be more chill once the combat actually begins. So it is quite the juxtaposition. But it's also worth mentioning that I'm not a huge fan of Souls-likes necessarily. I have not actually played any of the titles all the way through. I actually just finally got my hands on Elden Ring this year earlier in 2024. I still have less than 20 hours. I'm not an expert, so it was a bit of a learning curve for me. But the game isn't exactly the most challenging of the genre, so luckily I was able to adjust quite nicely. Moving on to the mechanics and progression, I'm happy to say that there's plenty here to keep you hooked for a respectable amount of time. In my 5 hours, personally, I've only just reached the point where I've unlocked full access to all the main mechanics like I mentioned. I found 9 out of the 69 total shells. Nice. Each shell has its own unique shell spell, which is like a special move that uses a type of mana. They call the mana umami. I fought 4 named bosses, 3 of which were direct progression through the campaign. One was, I believe, optional, off to the side in the main area. Real fun one there with the guillotine. I've unlocked a few of the starting perks in the skill tree, which for a while is locked, so you do have to make some progression there. I found a good amount of the stowaways, which are items which can give various stat buffs and nerfs. I've unlocked my first adaptation, which is kind of like an ultimate move, and that also uses the umami mana type mechanic. And I'm even about to upgrade my fork, which is your only real weapon, for the first time of many. You can upgrade it at least 4 or 5 times to my knowledge, and I'm about to hit that first upgrade. This all goes back to my point from towards the beginning. This is not a meme game. Yeah, I get it. Crab Rave may have made it impossible to take crabs as an animal serious for the rest of eternity. At least for people who are in the know. At least the gaming culture, right? But just know that these are well fleshed out. The progress feels meaningful. I mean, I'm already in a spot where the average enemies in the starting area are no longer running my ass over like a baby bird that just fell out of its nest into oncoming traffic, okay? I've got a couple skills, I've got some better stuff, my stats are boosted a lot higher, I'm leveled up. It feels nice. It feels like the time I've spent was worth it. From a technical standpoint, things are looking good as well. The game is obviously very stylized, so the different options aren't going to be as deep as something like Call of Duty, where low versus high is very, very different. But there are still a good amount of options here, and the game runs smooth. Now, granted, my system is definitely overkill. We've got the 4080 Super, we've got the 7800X 3D CPU. This thing can run anything, but I'm still averaging over 200 frames at 1440p max, so that still says something. The game runs well. Do not be worried. You will be fine on a more normal, more reasonably priced system. And finally, the game has a great sense of humor. There's crab puns, there's dang near breaking the fourth wall. Your character says, "Oh crab," instead of "oh crap." "What the shell," instead of "what the hell," stuff like that. The main moon snail guy is narrating for you when you interact with him, when you talk with him or her or whatever, as if you're not there. Like, the hermit crab notices that it can upgrade its skills. And you're like, "Hi, I'm right here." So the writing's good. It's great humor. It adds just another fun aspect to the game. So I've said a lot of good things so far, but I do have a few things that I only feel are fair to mention. They're not my favorite, and I feel like they should be fixed. I don't know if aggro crab games will see this, but if you do, think about it. First and foremost, the game isn't as snappy as something like Elden Ring. I know that's like such a bullshit complaint. You can probably expect indie games to maybe not feel as perfect as AAA games in a lot of aspects. Maybe it's just because you're underwater, so things feel more weighty. But there is a little bit of a weighty floatiness to some of the animations. And in my mind, sometimes I think I definitely mashed the dodge button or the block button, but it just didn't happen. So I don't know if I don't have the animations fully memorized and I was technically still finishing a slash of some sort with the fork, or maybe there's, a half-second delay between stuff. I don't know what it is, but at times I feel like I'm getting screwed over where the game just didn't really register a button press. And I don't know if that's actually a technical thing that's considered a bug, or if that is intentional, or if it's just me having a skill issue, because that is a third possibility. Another thing about this game is that it doesn't hold your hand, and that's typically a positive selling point in today's landscape of games where there's 500 waypoints on your map, and then you open up the real map and there's 2,000 icons and 500 more waypoints. But here, it actually feels like a downside, and the reason I say that is because there are no waypoints, period. Unless I'm missing something, which is possible, but to my knowledge, there are no waypoints. You do not know where you need to go. You have to listen closely and explore. And it's not too bad. The map isn't too massive. Worst case scenario, you take a loop and, oh, yep, there's an area I haven't gone, and you go down there and see what happens. Or there's someone I haven't talked to, talk to them, see what happens. But there were multiple times where I've spent 20, 30 minutes running around trying to figure out where the hell I'm supposed to go. I've been in this opening area for an hour and a half. I feel like I don't have anything unlocked yet. Where am I supposed to go? Oh, there's this room, and I unlock redacted, and then once I have redacted, I can move forward and get to a different area. So I wish that there was a waypoint. And further, and this is really my only really bad complaint, the map is not interactable. I'm going to repeat that for you. The map, when you open your pause menu and go to your world map, is not interactable, and it is very zoomed in. You cannot be like, oh, over there's the waypoint, or oh, over there is a path on the map that I don't think I've gone on, because you're only seeing a small portion of your area directly around you, and there's no waypoint, and you cannot move it. It is not interactable. I'm not sure if that's a glitch on my end. I'm playing on controller on computer, so there's a controller plus a mouse and keyboard plugged in, so maybe it's something with that. Maybe it's something that becomes more interactable later in the game, although that's a weird mechanic. I don't know, so I don't want to say like 100% here. Maybe it's just a choice to force players to explore and experience the game as if you are Krill who doesn't know where they're going. That could be a purposeful decision. But for me, I felt like I did spend too much time trying to figure out what was next. I guess if I paid more attention or have a better memory for the NPC dialogue, that would probably fix it too. So it could be considered a skill issue, but just keep that in mind. Non-interactable map. Just make sure you check your corners, find everything, talk to everyone, okay? So other than those things, which again, it's not too big of a deal, the game has been a pleasantly surprising title. It's been a ton of fun. I knew I'd have fun with it. Again, I saw the fun content on TikTok. It's about crabs. I'm a crab champion's main, if you can even say that. So I knew that this would be an interesting game. I knew that I would like it, but I've had a lot more fun than I expected. And I think that you watching probably will too if you haven't tried it out. So those are my first impressions of Another Crab's Treasure. This game's good. It really is. It's worth the money. And I think you should pick it up, especially if you're not a PC guy, because it is available on all consoles, including Xbox Games Pass. So it's on Switch, it's on PlayStation 5, it's on Xbox Series X and S, it's on Steam, it's also on Xbox Games Pass. I believe probably I'm just going to pause and figure out if it's on the PC Game Pass as well. Install now. So yeah, guys, it is even on the PC version of the Game Pass. So it is very widely available. Again, $30, but it's on sale on some platforms for less, about $27. So that feels very fair. A $30, basically a slightly less than half-priced Souls-like game with a solid 20 plus hours of content. And me being 5 hours in, I can see easily another 15 in, given how I've just unlocked the first handful of iterations of all the mechanics. I know that I can upgrade my thing more. I know that there's so many, my fork. I know that there's a lot more skill points that I can unlock, way more shells to collect, and I'm only 4 bosses in. Come on. That's not that many. So there it is, wrapping up for real this time. If you like the video, it helps me out. YouTube algorithm, you know how it is. Subscribe to the channel for more content, especially crab related, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care.